Next guest tonight is a talented actress you know best from her work in shows such as Stranger Things and films like The Whale and The Glass Castle. You can see her now on Broadway, where she's starring in John Proctor is the Villain, playing now at the Booth Theater. Please welcome back to the show, Sadie Sink, everybody. Sadie.
I'm good, how are you?
Good, I'm so happy to see you again.
Thank you, good to see you.
This is, the last time you were here, we talked about your early days on Broadway, but this is the first time in a decade?
Yes.
So how is it getting back up there?
It was scary for the first week of previews, but yeah, I knew it'd be a challenge returning to Broadway as an adult, which is kind of why I wanted to do it. But yeah,
Do you feel like everyone has it, like when a new show starts, or do you feel like you were with some real pros who were like, look at this one's been away for 10 years?
I mean, everyone in our show are like, yeah, they're super professional and so amazing. But I think we were all nervous. I mean, it's so exhilarating, and especially with a new play, it's like you don't know how audiences are gonna react, but it's been so positive, and we've just been having a great time.
That's wonderful. It's still in previews, and I can imagine nerves get better the more you do it, but are your nerves go up or down when you see that your name is on the marquee?
Way up.
Way up,
Way
yeah.
up, yeah. That was wild. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know. And the last Broadway show I did was like 2 doors down from the Booth Theater at the Schoenfeld. And at that time, I think it was Helen Mirren's name was on the marquee. So it was just crazy that
you're the new Mirren. Everybody's saying it.
I don't think so, but yeah, that was crazy.
So you enter the play about a half an hour in.
Yeah.
So we had Bill Burr on the show last week, and he is in Glengarry, and he sort of he walks off stage about half an hour before the play ends, and I talked about, like, what do you do for the half hour before you come out for curtain call? But you have half an hour before you go on stage. Mm-hmm. What do you do with that half an hour? Because I would imagine that would be more nerve-wracking than being done.
It is. I mean, it's kind of great because the audience is warmed up by the time that I come on stage. But yeah, for the first week of previews, I kind of was just like freaking out and running every single line that I had in the play. But I've let that go at this point, which is good. And now I kind of just like, I don't know, listen to music and like lie in a dark room.
I like the idea of you just standing with a cigarette being like, warm them up for me. As all your cats walk out. This is this play that takes place in a school. And you know, what's nice is I think that sometimes the stereotype is that Broadway audiences are older, but this is drawing a younger crowd. It must be so, I don't know, enlightening to be on stage and seeing more people that are your age.
Yeah, I mean, that was always kind of the goal, and it's happening, which is amazing. We actually did a student matinee on Wednesday and had 750 high school students come and see the show. Yeah, it was amazing. And for a lot of them, it was their first Broadway show ever, and they were so locked in and just with us the entire time, and to see like this depiction of high school happen before them, and like they responded so well to it, so that was really amazing. And yeah,
so it sounds like what you're saying is 750 high schoolers going to their first Broadway play are better behaved than like 750 people who've gone to a bunch of shows that are like loudly opening their candy.
Maybe, I mean, I don't know, they're different, but it was funny that like some of the things that adults usually laugh at, that some of these high school student characters in the play have, the students that came to see it, they were dead serious about it. They were like, yeah, there's nothing funny about it.
Oh, that's really...
Yeah.
And you know, it helps obviously that you are, obviously you're not a high schooler, but you're close enough to that time in your life that I imagine you can sense authenticity in the writing. Was that something when you read it, you're like, oh, this has a really good grip on what high school is?
Yeah, I mean, my high school experience was a little bit different, but I think, yeah, just in whether it's a TV show or film or play, it's really hard to capture an authentic dialogue of like my generation, I guess, and Kimberly Belfar, our playwright, does that so perfectly, and yeah, that's what drew me to it initially.
Next week is your birthday, or when is your birthday?
No, I think it's next. I think it's next week.
It's not important.
Yeah, April 16th? Yeah.
That's next week. With the way you reacted, I'm like, am I just making something up?
No, yeah.
But it's a Wednesday.
It is.
Yeah. And that means you have 2 shows on your birthday.
Yes.
Which doesn't strike me as like the most kick-ass way to celebrate, but are you
No.
such a lover of theater that you're like, this is my dream come true?
It is my dream come
Good.
true. Yes.
Do you think... Are you worried that anyone in the cast is gonna like make the audience during good nights like sing you happy birthday? And would you hate that or love it? Be honest.
I would hate it.
Yeah.
I would hate it.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. No, yeah, but
I'm
no.
sorry, I gave them a terrible idea.
No,
I'm so
no,
sorry.
no, no.
But maybe, I think she's saying it because she'd love it?
No!
Can I tell you something I love? People might not know this, but there's always who's who in the cast in these, playbills. And you are actually, you can write your own entry.
Yes.
And, a lot of people draw attention to the work they're best known for. I saw you, you were on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and you were talking, because you wrote this yourself. Her turn as Grizabella in a 2020 living room production of the musical Cats has been described as spellbinding and distressing. Now, of course, the best thing about 2020 is, like, I do the math. Like, because when I think of, like, home
Yeah.
shows, I'm thinking, like, way younger than you were in 2020. Like, you were a full...
I was 18.
Yeah. But there must have been other... Did you do other living room shows that you thought about putting in the playbill?
Yeah. I was torn between that and I was Donna and Mamma Mia.
Wow.
Yeah.
And who filled out the rest of the cast in that living room production?
My little sister, she's probably 8 at the time, and we did these productions in like under the guise of it's for her, like it really is for
Gotcha.
her.
But
no, I was
you obviously
Donna.
had the best parts and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
And
yeah.
then my brother, he played all 3 dads, which then we kind of like, and also Tanya, like one of the other friends.
Yeah.
But we kind of morphed all 3 dads into just one person. We, like mentioned the other dads, but you only saw
All
one.
right, so it's the 3 of you. How many, and is it just your parents watching?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Our parents or grandparents will be on FaceTime sometimes, and then my 2 oldest brothers who are just so sick of it at this point.
Yeah.
Especially like when we were 18, they're like, "Is this still happening?" The spellbinding and distressing is
Yeah,
exactly
I think
what
it's
it
very
was.
an accurate
Yeah.
read on it. How long would a production? How long could you knock out Mamma Mia in this sort of living room production?
What do you mean, like the rehearsal
Yeah, like
process
how?
and
No,
everything?
I guess maybe I was going to ask
Yeah.
how long do I have to sit to watch the whole show?
Oh, like 30 minutes. We
30
just need
minutes.
30 minutes of your time.
But like
max.
months of rehearsal.
Yeah, a couple weeks. I actually remember Mamma Mia, we were in rehearsals for when I was filming season 3 of Stranger Things. So I'd do like a whole day like at the Starcourt Mall, and then I'd come home and my brother would be like, "All right, rehearsal in 10 minutes. We're rehearsing Honey Honey."
Yeah. Oh, that's very well. Obviously, it paid off because it was distressing.
Yeah.
You mentioned Stranger Things. Last time you were here, you did admit that you shared scripts with your family.
Yes.
Which is like a huge no-no with a show like Stranger Things.
Right.
And I guess maybe word got back to everybody that you can't be trusted.
Maybe. I don't know. They made it really difficult to share scripts for this last season. It was impossible, basically. So my family has not read anything.
Gotcha.
But that doesn't mean I can't
Tell them, right.
exactly what happens.
You found the loophole in the
I
plan.
did.
Yeah. Stranger Things also going to be a Broadway show.
Yeah.
In previews now, is that right?
They're in previews now. I saw it when it was on the West End in London, and it's amazing the way that they were just able. It's a prequel kind of, but yeah, the special effects are incredible. And I actually worked with Stephen Daldry and Justin Martin, who directed it, in The Audience, which was the last Broadway show I did.
Oh, right.
It's a very full circle moment.
That was the one where you stole it from Helen Mirren, right? Yeah. I'm joking. That's amazing. It is very cool. I think anytime somebody uses like, oh, this is an existing property and doesn't just retell the story, but tells another part of it, that's a very cool thing to see.
Yeah.
You should definitely go to opening night and just very loudly be like, I'm in the show.
Right. Well, I think someone from the cast actually texted me. They're like, "Are you going to opening night?" And I'm like, "No, I'm doing this show, but you should come see that as well."
Yeah, that's right. But I
Yeah,
will say
what
that's the coolest reason not to go to opening night of
Yes,
Broadway. Being like,
yeah.
sorry, I'm actually on Broadway. It's so cool to have you back. Congratulations on everything.
you.
Such a delight to have you here.
Good to see you.
Thank you, everybody. John Proctor is the villain. He's in previews now at the Booth Theater and open April 14th. We'll be right back with comedy from Rachel Kelly.